Hello, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the Payoneer webinar about 7 export secrets you must know. Okay, my name is Joachim Sebastian. I'm the Payoneer brand ambassador for Malaysia, and I'll be your host today. Today we have with us two guests, very famous guests actually from our scene in the e-commerce world within Malaysia. We have Mr. Alvin Williams, who is the head of e-commerce and relationship sales for DHL Express. Welcome, Mr. Alvin. Nice to have you here. And we also have Mrs. Carol Fong, who is the head of SME adoption, e-commerce and DFTZ division of MDEC. Wow, that's a very, very long title there. Right. Okay. Welcome to the Payoneer webinar. We are really happy to have you on board. Would you like to say a couple of words to our audiences over here, Mr. Alvin? Mr. Alvin is focusing on his presentation. Okay, Carol, do you want to say a few words to the attendees?
Hi guys. I hope you can hear us well. One thing about webinar is that everybody have to be quiet and listen to us. That's all.
Great. Okay, Alvin, I'm going to scroll back to the start of the presentation, then you can take it from there. And Alvin is going to be presenting the logistics portion of the presentation, right? So take it from here. Okay, Alvin, on you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Sorry for that. The connection went missing for a bit, but I'm back. All right. So for this evening, let me start with how logistics can actually help smoothen out your exports and how picking the right partner and knowing some of these secrets will help enhance your exports here, your customers' experience receiving the goods. So we'll go with point number one. Okay, so we'll start off with understanding what de minimis is. I think it's important to understand what importing is all about in the destination countries. So the first thing to understand is there's this thing called informal clearance and formal clearance. With the amount of goods that are traveling around the world with globalization, the goods that travel through air, for example, just out of Malaysia alone, just with DHL, we move about 25,000 shipments a night. So just for a small country like Malaysia, we've got 25,000 shipments moving, and just with one carrier. So we're looking at millions of shipments and packages moving in a day, in a night. And so in order to smoothen out the processes of clearance and things like that, what most customs have taken in terms of policy is to have this thing called de minimis. De minimis simply means, refers to the minimum value of goods in which no duties and taxes are collected by customs. And this is also known as informal clearance. So I think if you're doing, it depends on what kind of business you're doing and what kind of channel sales you're doing. If you're doing e-commerce, then it's very important for you to know that de minimis values will help, understanding de minimis values will help your customer experience. For example, into the United States, one can export in a day up to $800 per airway bill to an individual in the US, right? So that's about 3,200 ringgit worth of goods per day, per person, per airway bill into the United States. So if you have 100 shipments into the United States a day, as long as it's going to different individuals, you have a leeway of up to $800. So an American citizen gets to import in up to $800 tax free. We then move on to a country, say let's pick Japan. In Japan, it's up to $90, right, tax free. And in Singapore, you have 400 Sing dollars. But if you look into the European Union, it starts at 15 pounds for the UK and 22 euros into the rest of the EU. So what does this mean to a seller? To a seller, to an exporter, it's important to understand what kind of shipping policies you would craft out for each region. For example, into the US, it's easy peasy because it's got a high de minimis value of $800, right? So what happens is it's as easy as doing a domestic shipment in Malaysia. Just as long as you don't exceed $800 per airway bill, you're fine. But into the UK, for example, you may need to change your logistics or rather your shipping policy into the UK, and you might want to do a total landed cost with duties paid on behalf of the client, and this can be, for example, put into the cost of the goods sold. Okay, most of the time, goods sold over the internet would definitely be more than 15 euros. So the customer is liable for tax upon receiving it. Okay, at least the VAT. So understanding the de minimis values is important, so you can know which countries to start off with at the start, get used to selling, get used to exporting, and then you can expand to other countries. But then again, this is only for cross-border e-commerce or sampling. Apart from that, one needs to know that there is also formal clearance, and you can get more information off the internet. Yeah. Sorry, connection's a bit slow. Trying to get to the next slide. Okay. The next thing to look at is the preparation of your commercial invoice. It is important to note that all countries, all customs in all countries would use a CIF value, cost, insurance, and freight value when they take into account the total landed cost of an item. Okay, so it is important, if you look at point H and I, to have the currency. All right, so if you're originating from Malaysia, you can choose to use Malaysian currency, or you can choose to use US dollar as the as a global trade currency, or you could also choose to use the destination currency. Okay, what you need to also list down, and this is where most people will miss indicating this, is the freight charge as well as the insurance charge. What happens when customs does clearance? They will take into account, they will look at the value of the goods sold. So if in this case, we're looking at USB cables at $150, right? If you only list $150 and you do not indicate the freight and insurance charge, the customs in each country will put in the full tariff of freight as well as insurance into the calculation of the final duties. So it's important to list that down. For example, if the freight is a discounted freight that you have contracted with a service provider, could be, say, in this case, $5, all right? If you do not indicate, customs will use what we call the IATA rates, International Air Transport Association rates, which are full tariff, or what an airlines would charge a freight forwarder. So this could bump up your freight charge to up to about $100 as well. This will then exceed de minimis value, say, into Singapore or things like that, right? So add on cost of clearance and cost of duties to an item that is sold, when these items are not indicated. So it's important to have the cost, insurance, and freight clearly indicated onto the shipping invoice that you're preparing. What's also important to note is you need to have, if possible, and this is what any exporter needs to know, you need to know the HS codes of the items that you're manufacturing or selling. This helps with clearance, and it also helps to ensure that the right rate of duties and taxes are applied for the item that you have manufactured or you have sold. Okay. Apart from that, please also note to prepare the document in English where possible. Be clear ship and receiver details, the Incoterms of the item sold. The Incoterms sold and the CIF value are two different things. The Incoterms sold is the term of trade between you and the buyer. CIF values are what are required by customs when they do clearance. So it's two separate things, please note that. And also for point D, avoid vague descriptions and do not use just abbreviations. Yeah, have the clear indicated item. So in this case, it's a USB cable. What's the model number? Clearly indicated HS codes. And also the country of origin. As I come now to the country of origin, as you all know now, there's this big trade war that's about to take place, or some of it has taken place. It's important to note that the country of origin will play a big part in the amount of duties and taxes applied in the receiving country. Yeah, so in this case, right now, there could be possibilities that exports out of Malaysia for certain items could attract a lower duty rate than something being exported out of China. So this would also help in terms of competing in the global marketplace, yeah, by indicating the country of origin. As you know, Malaysia has a lot of free trade agreements with a lot of bilateral free trade agreements, as well as, you know, a group free trade agreement. So it's important to take note if your goods sold have a free trade agreement, is it applied? Yeah, and then you'll know what's the total landed cost and your total value of sale into that particular country. Okay, we move to the next point. Okay, so customs plays a big role in the movement of, in the flow of trade, right? So imports and exports, they have a role to play, yeah, and customs basically enforces on behalf of other agencies, right? So they enforce laws that are in place, they enforce certain other laws, for example, for health, quarantine, and things like that. They are the tax collectors for the government when it comes to the flow of goods. Yeah, and it's important to have a good reputation with customs and build that reputation with customs. It helps. It helps in a big way, especially when there are times where there are disputes involved and you need to get refunds and claim backs. If you have a clean record, more often than not, cases with customs can be resolved amicably and quite fast. Yeah. As you can see, some of the notes here, some official customs responses are confirmed in writing. All right, but as you know, customs rules changes from time to time, and in some countries quite frequently. So one needs to keep up with it, and you know, either work with your service provider or use certain portals that are useful for in terms of custom updates. All right. Customs treatment of future shipments is not dependent on past clearances. So if you had wrongly declared an item and it got cleared without duties before, it does not set precedence if you make the same mistake moving forward, right? So, please take note of that, and there's no argument there. And if you have done a mistake and you then choose to use that as an example, you can get fined and duty applied on the previous mistake. All right. Okay, so what happens in one country does not apply to another. That's very true. Different countries have different rates of taxes, and it's as simple as that. And you know, for example, into Malaysia, a full bicycle is tax-free, but into Singapore, you will still be whacked with a 7% GST, right? Yeah, for that's an example. Some regulations are issued in advance, some are not. Yeah, so like the regulation of the implementation of GST in Australia, for example, that was given way in advance. There was a 1-year advance notice that that would happen. Yeah, but at times, some are knee-jerk reactions or things that have to be applied immediately. And in such cases, how do I say, some notices were not issued in advance. Yeah. So we've got to be quite flexible and ready to deal with such changes. Some clearance practices are covered by regulations, some are not. Some can be, some clearance practices, for example, let's see, For example, repair and return. For a repair and return shipment, which is being sent out for repair and it's going to be re-imported into the country, you can actually apply for a K2, where we would then prepare paperwork to ensure that your goods do not attract duties on return. Okay. All right. Cleared shipment does not protect a company from customs penalties. As I mentioned earlier, with the e-commerce boom, shipment moving overnight has, I think, easily quadrupled globally. So this has added a lot of pressure on customs to get things cleared. So at times they do make mistakes. So while these mistakes happen, and if the receiver or the trader or the exporter does not highlight the mistake, you could still attract penalties from customs for not coming clean. Yeah. So these days, most customs around the world work on a goodwill basis where there's trust, and they work on what we call a audit trail. So there's trust given to the trader. The trader is supposed to do all the right things, by the book, and then there'll be an audit at the end of the year to ensure the books are in place, right, with customs. So the onus lies on the exporter and the importer to highlight mistakes, if any. Yeah. Okay, and last but not least, custom value is based on World Trade Organization rules. Yeah, and so if there's anything that is fishy in terms of under declaration and things like that, customs will look at the available marketplaces and things like that to identify and ascertain the correct value of the items. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now we come to the last bit, which is declaration best practices. Do's. Before you export, please check on the restrictions of the destination country. Okay, how do you do this? You can always reach out to your service provider and provide them with the information up front. If you are a DHL customer, you could use our automated trade automation services, which is basically an online repository of a customs book, yeah, with all the rules and tariff codes and basically even total landed cost calculations for up to 98 countries. Yeah. Please provide full commodity description. Again, things like samples, free gifts are not allowed without the following description. So you can still say it's a sample, but it's a sample of a helmet. Yeah, and there must be clear indication of that. Anything that says just sample or free gifts will attract a 100% check by customs. Okay. Place correct quantity and value of the shipments. Yeah, I think this is quite straightforward. Declare all items in the box, including free gifts and samples. Okay. Use transactional price, so the transaction price between you and the seller or the buyer. Okay. And also, if there is a discount on that particular item, you can also use that discount calculation, which goes onto your commercial invoice. Okay, and discounts are recognized by the WTO. Declare the actual country of origin where the goods are made. Do not declare as where the last port of loading was. Yeah, I'll come that under don'ts. Okay, in terms of don'ts, don't assume all countries have the same regulations. Don't undervalue your shipments. These days, with the advent of digitalization, things are a lot more transparent. So a mistake today could cost you in the future, and especially when you're exporting to Western nations, they take going by the book quite seriously. Yeah. Do not misrepresent your shipment. Do not say it is a Cameroonian tea, but in actual fact it's tobacco, for example. Okay, that will attract heavy fines and possible barring of trade. Okay, do not omit any item shipped. Do not use nominal value. So you can't say it's a free gift. It's a helmet. It's a free gift, but it's only got a nominal value of 1. Anything with a $1, 1 ringgit nominal value will at almost certain attract customs 100% check. Okay. And last but not least, as I mentioned earlier, do not declare country of port of loading as country of origin. Okay, that is not allowed. The only time you can do that is when you do value adding on the item. So the item could be brought in from China, for example, but maybe you value added by adding on a few items, did the packaging, did the QC and things like that before re-export, then it's allowed, where there's some form of value adding at the end. All right. Yeah, so I've come to the end of that. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Alvin, for that awesome presentation. Just to recap a bit about what Mr. Alvin talked about, right? So he gave us 3 different export secrets over there. Sorry, mispronounced the word. 3 different export secrets that we're looking at. The first one is the de minimis, about how you want to handle it. How do you want to plan for which country to target your exports into to take advantage of the de minimis values, right? We talked about the commercial invoices, what to do, what not to do over there. So when you have a commercial invoice that you declare, do not forget to put your freight charges in. Do not forget to put your insurance charges in as well. So these are things that will prevent you from being overcharged by what the customs officers and the customs departments of different countries generally do, right? They follow the IATA rules and they give you maximum charge if you do not put the data in. So don't forget about that. And lastly, about the declaration best practices, that you want to get your HS codes right. You don't want to have any fraudulent items. You want to declare as the right kind of items that you have and not miss out anything in the packaging, such as free gifts and so on. So we're coming to the next portion of our presentation, where we're going to have Mrs. Carol Fong from MDEC to actually start her presentation pretty soon. But before that, I want to remind you about any questions that you want to have to ask the panelists or ask me personally. Don't forget to write it in the chat box. I think there's a chat box in the top right of the segment there, and we are looking to actually see more questions coming in. And Carol, are you all good? Carol?
Yes, good.
Okay, we hear you. All right. So I'm gonna get you the presenter mode, and you can take it from here. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, presenting Mrs. Carol Fong from MDEC, and we're going to start our presentation now.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This is Carol. I work for the government called Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation Sdn Bhd, short for MDEC. We're under the purview of the Multimedia and Communications Ministry, KKMM. YB Gobind Singh is our minister. Today, thank you, Payoneer, for having MDEC here today to share you the secrets about the topic is about secrets of export. So let's go. Hopefully, you all know who is MDEC. So let's go to the next slide. If I can control it, let's see. Page down. There you go. Now, we all know that what are your readiness when it comes to doing e-commerce. What's your readiness? There's so many people. There are more than 98% of SMEs registered with the SSM. they belong to micro. And with this micro, how ready are they going to e-commerce? And there's so many solutions out there that might confuse you, and what level of readiness are you at? So we look at the most bottom readiness, where every of your business, the secret of you doing business for the first time, not export yet, that you must have your business present online. Meaning, how do you put yourself visible to people that can search you online? And now there's a lot of businesses doing business over social media, FB, your WhatsApp, or your WeChat, maybe in Line that you do your business, or maybe in Facebook that you do your business. So these are micro SMEs that are not tech savvy at all. And you can't grow this business until you go to the next level. That's where the e-commerce platform comes in, where you either list it at other people's platform, or you subscribe to a brand.com shopping cart website, such as Shopify, such as Weebly, if you want to build your own portal, such as if you want to build your own store on a marketplace called eBay Store. That's where you go. Now, there's marketplace here in Malaysia that you can go local. The local marketplace, you've heard of Shopee, Lazada, Lelong, 11th Street. There are some more that are very niche. For example, Everest.com, BuyMalaysia.com, Avavas.com, DidiBill.com. There's so many out there, but for a start, to build your brand, another secret that I'll share to you, there's so many secrets to share. You put yourself in a marketplace where the marketplace has so many traffic for you already. But the marketplace branding belongs to the marketplace, not yours. And if you go to the marketplace, this is what you have to remember. Pricing war, price war is always in existence in marketplace. Because if you put yourself on a web, let's say your own brand.com website, nobody competes you until people can find you in the SEO. But when it comes to marketplace, price war is always imminent. The last one, if you want to scale your business to the overseas platform, that's where you use platform like Amazon, like eBay, or you want to go to the global world in B2B, that's where you go to Alibaba.com. And if you think that your brand has value of your brand, such as, let me give you an example. Let's say Tanah Merah, for example, the local health and beauty manufacturer who wants to go to Tmall Global. Tmall Global is only available for people with more branding. Their brands are already well known. You want to start new, if your brand is too new, too fresh, you cannot start with Tmall, but you can start preliminary via eBay. So different level of you, at what readiness are you at? You have to cater, you have to subscribe to different skills, different platform, and different service provider that will help you, different kind of skills. So this is where we at MDEC built a platform called Go E-commerce, where you can learn from all the beginner, upskill yourself, what kind of information that you need, because e-commerce moves so fast. What you learned 6 months ago may not apply what you will learn in practice. Now, let's move to the next slide. I hope I can move. If not, Joe, you have to help me to move. Okay, there. Let's go to the next one. Page down. Okay. Now, all of you have heard what is DFTZ. Now, please don't have the assumption that DFTZ is a zone. It's not. DFTZ is an initiative by the Malaysian government, whereby it aims at two most prominent objectives. One is to allow you to export more easily via the platform that the Malaysian government has built, where the declaration of K1, K2 form is easier for the custom agent, the forwarders, and the logistic companies to use it without any human error. So this is why we always encourage SME to engage service provider such as like DHL. So DHL will make all the declaration all online for you. The other one is to make Malaysia as a regional hub for mono brands to park their products at Malaysia, because Malaysia, strategic location for Malaysia, because it's in the middle of everywhere in ASEAN, within 2 hours of let's say to Thailand or Bangkok, within a few hours to go to Singapore, within a few hours to go to Brunei or Philippines. Excuse me. So, and it's also cheaper for brand owners to park their product and build the warehouse is already built by forwarders here. And this is why we want to attract more mono brands. Mono brands, for example, if you see people like on Levi's, Nike, or New Balance, or all those branded brands you see in the shopping mall. Now we want to put them into Malaysia hub as a transshipment hub, so that when the goods are all parked here in Malaysia, it gets shipped out to all the neighboring country faster. So that's what we want: cheaper, faster. And we also already put up a lot of improved process improvement for the how the goods are coming in. Previously, when the goods are imported in, customs and the logistic company takes about 6 hours to clear and go and immediately go to the gate. Now, with our intervention, with government intervention, we managed to cut off the time to 3 hours. So it's much more faster. So this is the value proposition that the Malaysian government gives to foreign countries or foreign brand owners to come over to Malaysia and invest and put up their transshipment of goods here. So this is what we're trying to do. So DFTZ is an initiative. So there are locations all over Malaysia that already can use the system, because this system is online. And if any of the shipments are based in North, in South, or in Sabah and Sarawak, all the forwarders will have to do is log in into DFTZ and then put those information in for you. So this is what we do on DFTZ. Going to the next page. Now, let's see where you want to go when it comes to all the platform providers that you want. And if you are looking to go to B2B, so B2B, everybody knows that you should go to Alibaba.com. So you have other portal like Global Resources. In India, they have another marketplace. I can't even recall the name. But in Malaysia, for B2B, we have a company called Everest and MindBiz, where they accept inquiries from all overseas for a foreign company from other country, and to put up the inquiry to the Malaysian SME that listed under them. Everest is free. I think that MindBiz has has a fee for you to subscribe to. Alibaba has a fee of up to a year. Your basic fee will be 6,000. However, Martrade is giving incentive for up to 5,000 ringgit if you qualify based on the criteria. If you want to know more about where this criteria that you can know, Google E-Trade, Martrade, and you will find the criteria and how to apply if you can. So if you're qualified to get the 5,000 ringgit incentive, it's you only have to spend less than 1,000 to try out how the Alibaba B2B platform is, and the channel partners will teach you how to open up your mini site, teach you how to go for your RFQ, teach you how to manage customer inquiries, teach you how to identify whether that inquiry is spam or not. Okay, now the next level is, if you want to go to B2C, this is where you should go. So we have international platform, we have local platform as well. And if you want to go to start with local platform, so the B2C local platform that can do export. That was what I was trying to say. This is going to export. Local platform, you can always go to all the other marketplaces, but when it comes to export, so we have programs with eBay. We have a program with Lazada to go to Singapore, and we work with a platform that's based in Malaysia called Roman that goes into Middle East. And in Buy Malaysia is more of Malaysia products going over to the world. And KOO10, anything under the sun that can be sold online, ships out to Singapore. And Tmall, of course, for branded products. The next one is, if you are too lazy, I'm not saying lazy, if you are not tech savvy in managing products. Now, The secret to it is if you can afford to pay somebody to manage your product listing, your shipping until your custom declaration, you pay to hire someone to do it for you. Now, e-commerce, the pain point is talent. You're not going to be easy getting talent to manage your account. Once you train a talent, that talent will leave you, and then after that go to another company and work. So these talents are not easy to nurture. So there are companies out there who are already helping SMEs to manage products when it comes to cross-border. We have companies like Jocom who does a lot of food, F&B and fast-moving goods going to all over the world, especially now they focus on China. Get Malaysia focus on people with very little SKU. If you only have one product under one of your brand, it's not feasible for you to open up an Alibaba account to promote one product. So if you have a very limited SKU, let's say less than 5, then you channel that product into Get Malaysia, and Get Malaysia will help you to spread it to all the marketplaces that they connected with. Commerce Asia brings you to Thailand and also manage your brand.com account. They also do shipping for you as well. JBM, if you can see that, Jingbaomen is a special. They have a Tmall global store in China. So what they do is they will manage all the goods that's coming in from Malaysia, especially food, F&B, and put it on the Tmall global account, and they will also do all the fulfillment for the SMEs to the end users. Okay, so that's where you want to go. Now, again, remember, please type your questions if you want to ask any questions, because Joe and Payoneer team has tried very, very hard to create these dates and date us to come here and talk to you. Now, the secrets of making it big in e-commerce is how do you creatively build your business to your buyers? What does your buyers want? I will give you an example of this man, Ang, a friend of ours. He has a family business of hardware store selling all the pipes, the bricks, the cement, all the fixtures of the construction, what the construction or renovation people will want to buy. That is such an old business model, very traditional, because it's owned by parents. But how did he make it so special? He can retain customers because he gave very good service to the customers. If you want to have renovation materials and goods, he ships to you fast. You don't have to wait for next day. He ships to you within 2 hours. All the orders are done. So people like his service. So his customer service or after sales service is tip top. Because if you go to the physical store, their manpower is only limited to, okay, you place the order, I will send you later when I have my man coming back to you. That's different from what ATKC is doing. He has his fleet of transportation. He has his fleet of people who managing the orders. So he has made very easy for people to order hardware supplies. So that's why he make it so unique for his business in a traditional world that we're living in. The next one is, let me try to go to the next one. This is Jocom. Remember you saw that logo, Jocom. Jocom is a 4-year-old company that starts with only less than 5 people in their company. So what they did was they built an app for you to buy groceries on mobile app called Jocom. Just order conveniently on mobile. That's the tagline. But because they receive so many SMEs on goods, because large SMEs do not want to go online. Why? Because large SMEs wants to protect their current resellers in the retail market offline. So meaning, I give you an example, their client FNN. FNN has so many retail, but FNN wants to go online. But FNN don't have the talent to do so. So what FNN did was FNN will prepare a quota of cartons of drinks to Jocom, and Jocom will use it and promote it to people in the office pantry, and now Jocom is pushing the FNN Carnation milk to go to export to China, export to Singapore. So they are now becoming the middleman to manage only for your online business. So this is what they do. So recently they shipped out because mooncake season is coming. So they managed to work with people like Hernan Corporation, who produces, Joe, help me to go to the next slide. So they help companies as big as Hernan Corporation, who does durian mooncake. Okay, this is the one. So these durian mooncake are a hit over in China market. China people love our food product. From Munchies, I don't think any of you would love to eat Munchies, or even Julie biscuit or Hua Tai. So you probably don't even eat this kind of food, but the people in China love the quality of it because they know that the quality of Malaysian food is being regulated in Malaysia. So in Jocom, they have helped Hernan Corporation to manage the cross-border trade for their company, instead of their company go and find talent to do so. Another case study that Jocom did recently, 2 weeks ago, okay, 2 weeks ago, they did for, let me go to the next slide, they did for a company that sells snacks, salted egg potato skin, salted egg fish skin, durian snacks, some cuttlefish snacks. So they ship a container worth of 320k Malaysian ringgit GMV to ship it over there, and they are now doing it whole hub. If you go and find them on Google, you cannot find their corporate website. They are only existed in company directories. You can find them in directory listing, but you cannot find them online. So you cannot even see what product they are selling. So Jocom reached out to them, hey, can I do cross-border for your products? And they can sell at premium for these products, because these are the products that are not available online but only available on retail. And finally, my last slide, the last secret that I would like to share with you is that be in the community. Always be in a community where people are very helpful and share with you. I know Joe, I know Alvin has been in the ecosystem for such a long time, 4-5 years that I've known them since I joined MDEC. We have a community that we built. Previously, it was all built on WhatsApp. There were 8 WhatsApp groups that I was managing. All this WhatsApp group belongs to enablers such as payment gateway, logistics, people like Joe who manage people's account, people like 11th Street, Lazada, eBay, Amazon. They're all in this WhatsApp group that I cannot combine into one. It's hard for me to manage 8 groups. So I was introduced by my director to create a Ding Talk, D-I-N-G, Ding Talk, T-A-L-K Talk. It's owned by Alibaba, but the good thing is that everybody joined there. There's more than 2,000 of SMEs there, and there's more than 100 over directories for you to reach out to. Lazada directory is there, 11th Street directory is there. You can find Lelong people are there. You can even find Alvin is there, DHL is there, but you can find other couriers also there. Joe is there, all providing professional help, services, e-commerce trend, sharing all e-commerce. So there's nothing about social talks there. Not about hi, see you, goodbye, I love you and I don't love you. It's all about, guys, I got a shipment going to Mauritius. Who can help me? So you post your questions there. People will come to you like honey and they will answer you. Guys, I want to do my certificate of origin. Where do I go? Guys, I want to go to the E-Trade, Matrade. How do I go about applying it? So come to this group and activate your app and scan that QR code for you to come and join this group. This group has a lot of SMEs that they're willing to help. We have Penang community, we have Sarawak community, we have a group that's purely for women who are doing e-commerce. So we have all that in store for you. So I wish you all the best in embarking your e-commerce or export journey. If you have any questions that you want to do, please ask at the right hand side of your screen. And if you want to ask more questions, if you're shy, then come to Ding Talk and we can always have a professional chat there. So that's my number. You can WhatsApp me, you can ding me. I'll see you online. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Carol, for another very in-depth presentation when she was focused on more of the overall infrastructure within Malaysia, where, Carol comes from MDEC, a government agency who is chartered with guiding the digital economy of Malaysia to grow. So a few points that Carol shared about her secrets of export over here, right? First is number one, you want to understand about the export ecosystem. Who are the players around? The Matrix, the MDEX, all part of MITI, right? The ministry. You want to understand the marketplaces that are online, such as the eBays, the Amazons, those are the B2C marketplaces, and the B2B marketplaces, which are Alibaba and so on. So by leveraging off the information, the decks, the knowledge sharing that the good folks at MDEC, especially Carol, everybody knows Carol, by the way. I think she's the second most famous person in the whole of Malaysia, probably. I don't want to comment on who's the first one, right? let's not go there. So a few other things to recap on about what Carol shared is about the case studies. So she's shared some journeys of entrepreneurs that have started with very small enterprises, but somehow through the communication, through the community, through the facilitation by the government agencies, they have somehow scaled up their businesses to grow global. And of course, lastly, is about the importance of being part of a community. Now, that's something that we at Payoneer take quite seriously as well. The Malaysian e-commerce community is a very small, close-knit, but not small in number, right? We've got 1,900 people in a single chat group there representing all sorts of different kinds of organizations, whether it's hardware sales to flowers to perfumes and so on, right? The list is endless about the type of products that we sell on e-commerce. The good work that the folks at MDEC does continuously generates engagement within the community, and of course I'm part of that community. We're very privileged to be part of it as well. Payoneer, myself, and our counterparts, including Alvin from DHL Express, right? So that's just a brief overview of what Carol shared. Again, thank you, Carol, for that in-depth sharing. I'm going to go to my presentation, which is going to touch more on what I specialize in, which is export marketplace management, right? So I'm going to give you a couple of secrets about how to succeed on my most, I guess, the platform that I have most experience in, which is Amazon US. Now, this is not going to be a very holistic briefing. I'm not going to go so deep because I want to give you the overall feel of what this platform does and how to succeed on it first, and then we'll go into possibly more deeper discussions once you come up with your questions. Yeah, okay, so don't forget to share the link with your friends. We still got a very interesting session after this, but I'm going to go through my presentation first about how to succeed on this on Amazon, actually, as a B2C export platform. Okay, so this is a presentation that I've done which has been very well received when we go into the in-depthness of how you want to manage a platform such as Amazon. Okay, so this is the brief overview of what I want to go through. We're going to talk about the key points about the Amazon platform and managing a business on the said platform itself. So the first thing that I want to talk about is on the top left, the first point about being slow and steady. So now when you talk about platforms such as Amazon, they generally are very fraud resistant, right? So you understand how sellers work at times, where they apply strategies where they go in big, they go in hard, they sell a lot and they disappear. So this particular strategy or this particular venture that some entrepreneurs practice results in very bad buyer experience, because if the products that they buy are defective, they cannot return it, the seller has disappeared. Most of the time the products are not as described, they're fraudulent, and sometimes it's just a case of I want to sell you something, and when I ship it I put a stone in it and you receive a stone instead of what you have, and when you try to make a refund, they disappear. So because of this, Amazon has they have implemented control measures such as gateways where new sellers don't get the right amount of traffic off the onset. You've got to prove yourself. You've got to show that, hey, I'm a genuine seller. Hey, I care about the consumers. Hey, I actually care about the brand that I represent on this platform. So that leads me to my first point. Consistency and compliance is the name of the game on Amazon, right? Growth takes time on this platform because it's not to say when you start something on Amazon, you're going to get $1 million in sales the next month. You know, our journey is something where we grew from 0 to 400,000 ringgit in sales in the first year. But in the first 3 months, we didn't really do much. You know, that's something that most people don't know. And you're going to get very frustrated with how Amazon gates you. But this is part of the process, right? They rather risk slowing down a good seller than allowing fraudulent sellers access to their buyer base. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, on Amazon, generally, when you want to start selling, I recommend a 20% FBA strategy and an 80% FBM strategy. Now, for those sellers who are actually not on Amazon, you're wondering what the heck is Joe talking about right now, right? FBA, FBM, FBC, RTU, you know. Okay, so I'm just going to explain a bit about what they mean. So FBA is a program by Amazon. It's called Fulfillment by Amazon, where you ship your products to their warehouse. They store it there. They provide customer support, and they do fulfillment. So FBM is fulfillment by merchant. So that means when you sell a product, you ship it from wherever you are, where you are the merchant, right? So for instance, if I'm a Malaysian seller, an FBM sale, I have to ship it from Malaysia to my buyer wherever he is in the world. For an FBA shipment, generally, you don't even know the sale has occurred sometimes because everything's automated. The products stored over there, their SKU, they're listed in their relevant shelves, and when a fulfillment order comes through, Amazon picks and packs and ships it out within 2 days, right? So for sellers who are going on board the Amazon platform, our general recommendation is that you identify 20% or the top 5 SKUs that you have that move the fastest and move the best, and these are the things that you want to FBA. You want to send it to Amazon to store it over there and ship there, because FBA has a couple of advantages. They give you access to the Prime members' entire database. So you get buyers who really love buying on Amazon, being able to view your product and having the Amazon Prime badge on your listing. So most of the time when we recommend to sellers to come on board to Amazon, we say, okay, identify your top products, choose the best of the best, and that's what you go in FBA. The rest, use it FBM, okay? Now, a bit about some strategy on Amazon itself, right? Amazon is a platform that is inherently buyer-centric. I mean, you've got to understand how they think. For them, if they have enough buyers, sellers will come, right? But if you just have a lot of sellers, it doesn't mean the buyers will go to that platform. So most e-commerce platforms in the world are very, very buyer-centric. So they protect the buyer across many different aspects. So on Amazon, for you to control the system or to control the game or to put yourself in the best position, it is going to be being a brand owner on that platform. So what does a brand owner mean? It means that you have to have a trademark registration number in the country that you're trying to sell in. For instance, you want to sell in US, you've got to have a USPTO trademark number on the brand that your store represents. Then you register to be a brand owner, you get access to create an Amazon store, and you can actually modify and upgrade the listings with enhanced brand content that you can see at the bottom there. So being a brand owner on Amazon is a very, very key strategic advantage over all the other sellers, in fact, right? Now, you want to also understand how Amazon works. Amazon, unlike other platforms, operate on a catalog basis. So you create catalog entries on Amazon saying that, hey, this is a product on Amazon and I'm selling it. once you as a brand owner create that product, if you have distributors or dealers who have that exact same product, they can say, hey Amazon, I'm selling this product too. And they also appear as competitors to you. So what Amazon does is that it displays all the sellers for one particular product in a listing, and the best person wins, right? Now, the best person may mean a very high search ranking or a very high feedback ratio or a very good month-on-month performance. So there are many reasons, there are many ways that Amazon rates a seller in order for them to win the particular sale, or also what is known as the buy box on Amazon, right? So understand that the Amazon platform works in a very different way. To actually convert your buyers, you really need to understand the buyer journey. So that's another key point there. Understand that, hey, if I'm selling a skateboard, I want to be targeting the 20 to 28-year-old youths who are possibly in college and are looking to buy stuff like t-shirts, caps, and collectibles, right? So that would be a similar buyer persona to somebody who would buy your skateboard. So that's something you want to understand as well. The fourth point over on the right hand side and the strategy is, of course, enhance brand content. Now, all normal listings on Amazon are just bullet points and text. If you are a brand owner, you are able to actually control, grow, and enhance the representation of your product on the platform. So this is where you get videos, you get pictures, you get to explain the story behind the product. And that's where it's a really big advantage against similar category competitors who are not doing the same. So enhanced brand content is a big win over there. Now, the next thing about selling on Amazon is the pricing structure. Where on Amazon it's a very competitive place where you are going head to head against all other sellers who sell your particular product. So you've got to really plan it out right. Scale your product according to the numbers that you can cope with. Ratio your product according to the different costing structures, such as your shipping, your logistics, your warehousing, your pick and pack, as well as consider things like the return rate of your particular product. So if you have a t-shirt for sale, you would want to build in a standard returns cost of at least 15 to 20%, because you know that in that particular category, you have up to 30% returns, and you must still be able to make money after getting hit by these returns, right? Also, a point to understand about Amazon. Their buyers are actually very loyal, right? They're really loyal. They're subscribers of Prime. They generally convert at a higher rate compared to other e-commerce channels, right? So when you are enticing them with your offer on Amazon, make sure that this is something that you plan for long term. So when you sell something, make sure it's representative of the pictures that you put online, of the bullet points that describe it, the sizes are accurate, the weight is accurate. So when they buy something off your listing, it is as accurate as possible to the actual product that they receive, right? Okay. You want to always be able to target the Prime members, which is a subsegment of buyers on Amazon, right? So when you go to Amazon, you get to register for a Prime membership for about 200 something or 299 USD per year, if I'm not mistaken. So correct me if I'm wrong, but these Prime members are captive audiences for you, in fact, because they pay to be on a shopping platform to get advantages such as discounts, free shipping, quick customer support, and fast turnaround time, right? So they have already primed themselves to buy stuff. So when you put products in front of them, they automatically convert, okay? So that's about pricing. And now about traffic. When you compare the traffic on site on Amazon, it's just insane. There are huge amounts of people on Amazon trying to buy stuff on various categories. There are millions upon millions of products available at any point of time. And as you know, Amazon is the world's biggest company right now, right? So there's a reason for that. If you do justice to the system, you play the game that Amazon wants you to play, they will reward you with very good ROI and the highest amount of traffic that you can get. So what does Amazon want from you? They want you to provide the best customer service possible, right? Imagine this, they are a platform that prides themselves on being a customer-centric platform. They support their buyers first. If they provide a platform that buyers feel confident and safe in purchasing, they're going to keep coming back to that platform regardless, and sometimes against the standard understanding of a cheaper offer somewhere else, right? So they still trust the Amazon platform more. So as a seller, there's some things that you want to understand about Amazon and its spread of platforms, which is one of the secrets that I want to talk about today. When people say Amazon, there are actually more than nine different Amazon platforms out there, and they are each separate. They're separate populations in the world. So one of the key strategies behind export e-commerce is scaling on multi-channel platforms, right? So you want to start selling, for instance, on Amazon, you want to sell on Amazon US, Canada, Mexico, Germany, Italy, France, Spain, UK, Australia, and Japan. So that's just Amazon, and there's like what, 10 listed there. It's a huge market essentially. So when you sell your products across all those platforms, you actually market to a huge global population, and that's where most of the clients that we actually manage see quite a bit of advantage, and they gain quite a bit of benefit from being present in all those countries with such a minimal cost. Okay, the next thing is about Amazon sponsored ads. Now, sponsored ads are essentially a paid advertisement on the Amazon platform. What you do with this sponsored ad is you try to bypass the growth pains that a general account will have to go through. You pay to appear on the first ranking page, or you pay to appear to the buyers that you want to see, you want to show your product to. So although given that sometimes this can go out of hand, you need to really understand how much you want to spend per buyer and how much they convert for. But it's a really quick way of getting your products in front of a huge number of buyers. And the next thing is account and product review. Now, Amazon's really regulatory on this particular category of things that you can do to improve your account. So your account and product reviews, they need to be genuine. Try your level best to resist paying for paid reviews and paid account reviews, because they know, and when they find out, they will shut your account down and they will suspend you for violation. Having said that, still solicit these reviews from people who have successfully purchased your products, because the more reviews you have on your account and on your product, the higher your product listing appears in search, the more higher your conversion factor is for buyers who see your product, and the better your product ranks against par competitors. So this is something really important, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to my next slide, which will talk about traffic. So on Amazon, one of the key success factors, or actually the key success factors for any e-commerce venture, is your ability to gain converting high quality traffic at the lowest cost. If you can successfully do that, you are a winner in the e-commerce scene, right? Traffic going through a funnel generates sales, right? Each portion of the funnel, you have a loss, and if that loss is still acceptable until it reaches the bottom of the funnel where it converts to sale, you end up with more money than you spent to generate the funnel. So that's the idea behind funnel marketing within e-commerce. So on Amazon, I'm going to list a couple of traffic generation strategies, and I'll describe each one to you so that you understand what you can use this for, okay? So the first one, we start on top, which is the headline ads. These are ads that are for brand owners. They're mainly for brand owners to increase awareness of their products across the whole community in the market. So they can either push traffic to your store on Amazon, or they can push traffic to a list of products that have your brand name on them. So there's pros and cons to this. The pros are that it appears very prominently on the top of your screen on Amazon. The cons is that the conversion of the product may not be you, right? So remember, Amazon's a catalog system. You push the buyer to the catalog, they may choose a different seller to convert on. So this is a risk. Now, the next one, enhanced brand content, is essentially, as I explained earlier, a much more holistic representation of your product online via Amazon through the EBC platform. So you get to put videos, you get to put graphics, you get to put write-ups, you get to put a lot of stuff there. Okay. The next one, lightning deals. This is an Amazon discounted deal that basically gives you front page placement within the Amazon environment. So when you get approved for a lightning deal, you want to grab onto your hats, because this can lead to 1,000 or 2,000 sales within an hour if you are selling the right kind of product, right? So lightning deals generally go for 40 to 50% discount, depends on your product again, and they appear in the front of the page, right? So Amazon actually promotes you to the whole population of viewers. Now, next one, the early reviewer program. Now, this is an Amazon incentivized review program run by Amazon itself. So it's perfectly safe. It will never get any sort of violation if you run your reviews through this program. It is a $60 program per SKU, where Amazon solicits up to 5 reviews, or a period of 1 year where they keep on soliciting reviews for you for 60 USD. So they have an instance where they promote your product to the buyer and they give the buyer a $1 or $2 card in return for a review. So this can be done if it's done by Amazon. If you try to do it yourself, you're going to get suspended, because incentivized reviews are a prohibited activity. Okay, that's a permanent violation there. Be careful about that. The next one is promotions, where you can have purchase with purchase, free SKUs, you can get discounts. You can actually have tiered promotions like buy 1 get 10%, buy 2 get 15%, buy 3 get 20%. And this creates a higher conversion factor and an increased bucket size, an increased shopping cart size for your buyers. And of course, lastly is the Amazon sponsored ads, which is the basic standard bread and butter of Amazon direct to product advertising. Okay, so that's actually part of what I wanted to share today. And I was thinking of inviting both my other two participants, Carol and Alvin. Could you join us, please, via video? I'm gonna go through a slight Q&A where I'm gonna show some interesting things to our population of attendees today, and we'll start some questions and some discussion going on for about 10 minutes before we end the show. Okay, all good? Carol, you there? Carol.
I'm here.
All right.
Busy approving people in Ding Talk.
Amazing. So, okay, so what we're gonna do here is the first one is gonna be, okay, just to give a background, right? Alvin and Carol are both very experienced people within the e-commerce scene, right? So they've seen products across multiple sellers. They've seen so many different kinds of things that go on in the market. They also have experience giving advice to a lot of sellers, right? Carol is, as I said, the second most famous woman in the whole of the country. Second. I will never say who's first, okay? I'll never say who's first. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of products here today, and we'll take turns, Carol and Alvin, and this is unscripted, completely unscripted. I'm going to get killed by Payoneer for doing this, but you know, I want to keep our attendees happy and show them some amazing stuff. Okay, so the first one's for Alvin. So we've got a product here. Got a product. It's a very sexy product, and I want to see what you think about how we should ship this product. And here we go.
It looks like a vase of some sort.
Pot. It's a raku pot. It's made from Terengganu. It is amazingly colored. It's very beautiful, as you can see. It's big as my head, right? It's typical. It's a ceramic pot. It's not easy to ship. So I'm going to place it down here, and I'm going to zoom in a bit, and you can take it away, Alvin. How do we ship this globally?
I mean, okay, the first thing you need to have for this is proper packaging, right? Regardless of which supplier or logistics company you use, the onus lies on the seller to ensure this is properly packed. So I'm looking at this probably fits into a box 5 or a jumbo box, but what needs to go in with it is lots of cushioning. Okay, I would suggest creating one and doing a drop test. Really pack up the item, throw up the box maybe a couple of feet off the ground, or probably 6-7 feet off the ground, and when it drops, it should still stay intact. We've helped a customer seek packaging advice before from a professional packer. And what we would suggest using is this would be a bit of styrofoam. Ensure that it can't move in the box as well. So probably some corner guard, some styrofoam, and bubble wrap, of course. But it's still shippable, not a problem at all. You see, most of the time, these items will go through a conveyors and very little manhandling until it gets into the hands of the courier during pickup or at delivery.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice feedback. It is a pot. So Mr. Alvin Williams from DHL Express says that this is a sellable item. This is a Malaysian-made item, and we're gonna explore how to do this. Okay. Thank you, Alvin. Okay. Next, let's go to Carol for our most secret product of the day that is very difficult to ship. And I'm going to ask Carol, how does she plan to ship this product? It is. It is a balloon.
By the time the product gets into the destination, there's no more air.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, this is not a real product. Okay, so just joke there. Okay, so we're gonna have something pretty amazing here, and this is a very, very sexy and precious item. So Carol, your point on how you wanna explain that, how we're gonna ship this pewter statue, which is made by Royal Selangor, actually, one of our premium heritage brands in Malaysia. So how would you ship something like this that costs about, I would say about 1,000 ringgit?
Yes, 1,000 ringgit.
About 1,000 ringgit. In terms of, it's fragile. You get to see things moving over there, right?
Yep.
Things moving.
Yep.
It's a proper shipment. It's very, very detailed, as you can see.
Yep.
So let the guys see how detailed it is. And how would you ship something like this?
Oh, because I know that I don't know how to pack this product, I send to people like DHL, pay them and get them, because it's worth 1,000 ringgit, and I'm sure that it's a limited edition product by Royal Selangor. If something that is so expensive and cannot be replaced by another product, have someone pack it for you and have it insured as well. So we have packers who do this very professionally done. They even put in pallet boxes, wooden pallet boxes, and pack it with so many bubble nut peanuts, all those little papers. So I won't do it, because why? I will not take that responsibility to pack it. If I know that that product is expensive, I get it insured, and I tell my customer that if anything of the product that is spoiled, is all insured. So I will get a shipper that can do it everything for me, because it's limited edition. I'm so scared of not getting it to be replaced.
Fair enough. That's actually a very smart thing to do, because sometimes a lot of us sellers try to do everything ourselves, right? So that's something that, in all honesty, restricts you. It restricts your growth and restricts the potential that you can reach, because you're spread so thin. So do the stuff that you're really good at, and focus on getting help that is professional to sort out the stuff that you're not, right? So that's key. So now let's flip it aside. It's not a logistic question anymore. Now, about a product, something like this, where it's a made in Malaysia product, it's a Malaysian manufactured item, it is run and built by Malaysians in the country. Are there advantages to this that we can leverage upon from the government to promote Malaysia globally? Are there plans? Are there strategies? Are there tools? Who do we need to look for?
For upcoming events, I would say that I can't share everything now to the public, because I don't know who you are at all. I don't know which country you are from. I just got WhatsApp messages coming in from India and saying that, Carol, how do I join on board? Because this program that we do in Malaysia is purely specifically for business registered in Malaysia, for us to help you to go to export. And we at MDEC work so hard together with partners like Joe, like DHL, like Alvin, to really give you the best offer in shipping rates, and how MDEC can play a role, and how this DHL has got a program called DHL SME, and they help businesses grow for you guys. If only you guys are committed to your time. And majority of business owners, now this is what we notice from business owners, again I mentioned is they're very, very lazy. They go down to the business development guys and ask, you guys go and explore, I would just go and continue to do my network with other bosses, and you guys have to reach the KPI. So if the bosses do not go through this kind of training, how to list, how to do branding, how to know about your HS code, I tell you, the karma will hit back to you. Your business won't grow. So we have seen businesses grow, like let me give you an example. The glove guy, Top Glove, Top Glove, and Royal Selangor and Boti are doing very, very well because they send in their own top management to go into training, to learn about what's the e-commerce inside. If you send people like executives, senior executive to go, you won't get that far. So we have programs. Join the Good Ding Talk group. There's so many workshops that I share, and there's so many events that I put up on Ding Talk, because once you have that app will tell you whatever events that I share, you will sync together with your calendars. So be in that group, 2,000 of you coming up. Now again, there's more than 20 names I'm seeing for me to get approved. So this is where we do business chats. All the members there are all business registered. None of them are student. None of them are gallivanting inside there. All of them are business registered. Come
All
there.
right.
Go.
Awesome. Thank you, Carol. Mr. Alvin, based on your experience in delivering products or facilitating the exporters within the country, what are the trends that are currently moving, and what are we looking at right now? What's going on in the export scene? So share with us some tips and some of the happenings.
Okay, so the export scene actually has been great since the ringgit tumbled 3 years ago. So it's still robust. We on a B2B manufacturing side, we are truly and very part of the global supply chain. So what happens around, say in the US, when it comes to electronics, we are definitely hit. Yeah, but or if there's an upside, we definitely enjoy the upside as well. So we are truly connected to the global supply chain and through global trade when it comes to the big names, the MNCs and things like that. What we are seeing when it comes to SMEs is, which is rather sad, is the first and second generation type businessmen are moving, retiring. Okay, the kids are not taking over the business, and there's no one to hand the business over to. So actually, we've seen a bit of a shrinking of the traditional manufacturing type SMEs in Malaysia, which is what actually has kept us a very vibrant and robust economy over these years. I'm seeing more consumerism, so a lot more import trading kind of thing. All right. But we really want to spur, a balance, right? You still need manufacturing to still be there, part of the country, because manufacturing is basically very knowledge-based as well. So, but on the positive side, we're also seeing a lot of e-entrepreneurs come up pretty well. You're one of them, Joe. You've got multiple businesses and things like that. We have seen a company it's like Royal Selangor and things like that as well do pretty well. So it's a mixed bag of things. When it comes to the large scale of things, we're still doing pretty well. Could we be a lot more competitive when it comes to SMEs? Yes. And when I mean competitive, not on price, yeah. We need to compete in terms of skill, in terms of our quality. Malaysian quality, like Carol mentioned before, when it comes to food products, we are second to none. Yeah, we have really good quality. Even manufacturing, you may think that automotive manufacturing is dead in Malaysia, but the fact is, Proton spurred 20,000 new SMEs, over the years. All right, and some of these SMEs have gone on to be pretty big global players. We have an SME based in Sungai Buloh. Okay, who manufactures, in your engine, you see all those plastic blow molded parts, the black color stuff, the tubes and stuff like that, all right? The global supplier for Honda Accord sits in Sungai Buloh, right? So, yeah, as long as you put your mind and will to it, get the quality going, sell the value of what your business is all about, then there's no real big need to play in just a price-sensitive kind of economy. You know what I mean? Because when it comes to selling on price, you can never beat the scale of Chinese producers.
Yeah,
they are large, they're huge, they're massive. So where we need to compete in SMEs is really looking at the quality of your goods, your processes, your customer experience, managing your customer service with your customers after sales. Looking at new ideas, developing products, taking a product that's already out there and making it better, things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Overall, still robust, yeah, Malaysian SMEs.
That's good. I mean, in the 4 years that I've been running my companies and growing our businesses, we have seen active support from all government agencies trying to really spur the grassroots level development over here, like B2C, B2B, across the board. When we talk to MDEC's everywhere, Carol's everywhere. on real knowledge development, on community building, on program launching, Matrix launching a lot of stuff as well. We've got other agencies like SME Bank, all the other government agencies that work together to support the export industry together with private players, right? So that's the key thing here. And as we know, it's the My Cyber Sale right now, right? And that's going amazing as well. We've got export orientated sellers, we've got local orientated sellers, and I think this is the biggest sale event for Malaysia, right?
Yes.
My Cyber Sale. It's the biggest and very well developed year after year, breaking records. So we're looking forward to see how this spurs the economy as well. love the energy from the e-commerce group again. So we're reaching the end of our webinar right now. Really just want to recap the top things.
Joe, if I may add 3 questions here that I've received. If I may answer them, if you don't mind.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sorry, hang on. Okay. So question number 1 was, how does delivering to Russia and Israel work? Okay, so into Russia, we can still we can export both B2B and B2C. It's obviously easier to get B2B clearance in Russia. If you are doing e-commerce and you want to sell, piecemeal parcels on a daily basis, right now using an express solution is quite difficult into Russia because they ask for multiple paperwork. So if you're sending anything that is not too expensive and does not exceed, say, perhaps $300-400 US, you can still use the postal services, honestly. Postal services still gets items delivered door to door for e-commerce into Russia for now. Russia has put curbs on foreign companies doing clearance for B2C simply because they wanted to dominate that piece of business with their local postal services, right? So that's why they put curbs on express players. But nevertheless, you can still get B2C deliveries done via the postal network. Yeah. If you need B2B deliveries, you can use DHL Express. We can still get things delivered for B2B. Or another way you can still use an express solution is have the sold to a company, but the receiver address could be B2C, a consumer address, a home address. So the transaction would be sold to company ABC, delivered to Joachim Sebastian in Russia, for example.
Hey, come on.
Okay, that's one. When it comes to Israel, as you know, we don't have any diplomatic connection with them, so to speak, but we have a lot of trade connections with them. Actually, if you are wanting to export to Israel, you can actually apply for a license to export to Israel via MITI, the Ministry of International Trade and Industry. Okay, but if you're doing piecemeal and you want to export e-commerce type every now and then I would suggest you ship it to an address like a ship station kind of address in Singapore, and then get an express air bill slapped on in Singapore out to Israel. Okay, so if you do have consistent business, very large business to Israel, I repeat again, and if it's B2B, you can apply for a license of an exemption or an approval via MITI. And if it's B2C, I would suggest exporting via Singapore. Okay, then it comes to the next question. Where can I view a list of supported countries on your site? Okay, as of last month, we go to every country in the world. The only country we could not go to was Turkmenistan, but as of last month, we've opened up our first outfit there. The government has allowed us to operate out of Turkmenistan. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to every single country in the world, with the exception of Syria right now. We used to go there because of the war, so we are not there. We have sporadic service in Libya for now. We used to do it quite well, but because of the war, it's sporadic now. And last but not least would be, we even go to North Korea, yeah, Cuba, North Korea, all the hard to get places we are there. We are basically in every country in the world right now. Okay, and the last question, where can I open an account with DHL for export? Okay, you can drop me an email at alvin.williams@dhl.com, my name with a dot in between at dhl.com, or you can go to my microsite, which is www.dhlsme.com.my, and leave us there's a form for you to fill up, and we'll attend to you. And if you need me to attend to you, just put there in the remarks column, you were part of the Payoneer webinar. All right. So those are the three questions. I hope that answered all. Maybe.
Okay. Any questions? Let me just see if I've got any questions over there before we close. Okay. Any website or books that deal with import-export Malaysian laws and regulations? Well, I think Carol, you can help me answer this. The goecommerce.com.my, does it help with regulations and laws? Not yet. Okay. Then
no, it doesn't.
Sorry, yeah?
It doesn't. You can't find this law, but I believe that if you want to find, depend on which country are you guys from that asked this question.
No, Malaysia. Mostly Malaysians.
If you're based in Malaysia, then you have to go to customs website to go and find that kind of laws. If you want to find what kind of HS code, I believe that once you become a DHL customers, they have a list of HS codes for you to follow, depending on your product. But if the overseas country would like to know about more of our regulations, if you're shipping, let's say, health products, you have to go and find our Ministry of Health website. If you're shipping electronic goods, then you have to go to, I don't know what they call in English, SIRIM, the commission that does with a lot of electrical goods that comes into Malaysia, so that the quality and standards of your electrical goods are all at to par, so that it's safe to consume consume and use by the consumer here. And if you think that you want to go for food, you also have to go for Ministry of Health. So where you do get this kind of information, now all our government agency, the good news is they're all online. You can Google them easily. and be a client of DHL. They've always have a good resource center of goods that wants to come in and come out. They have a policy person in charge as well, and they know so much of these other countries import and export restrictions in specific countries. So they are a very good reference point for you guys to go to. I want my referral fee, Alvin.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. Well, I didn't have to do much selling today. All done by Carol.
It's good, it's good, it's good. It's all good, it's all good. So I've got some FBA questions here that they're asking about things like how to compete in Amazon. The competition is very high. I want to open a new e-commerce and how to compete with tech giants like Amazon and Lazada. Okay, bear in mind the world works on supply and demand, right? So Amazon and what's the other country? Oh, Lazada are not actually your competitors. They are platforms that you utilize to assist your sales because they want sellers as much as they want buyers, because it goes both ways, right? You got buyers, you don't have products, it's not good. If you got sellers and you got no buyers, nobody's gonna make any money, right? So generally, when we recommend e-commerce strategies for our clients as well, we go with one website solution plus 3 to 4 marketplaces where, you know, on marketplaces, you save cost of marketing. You don't pay for traffic. The platform pays for traffic, but you need to comply with the rules and regulations, and then they will give you traffic, right? Whereas in your website, things are very cheap, but you don't get traffic at all. And then you've got to pay Facebook or Google to funnel traffic in, which ends up to about the same situation, right? So just to answer the question, you've got to do all and have a unique value proposition and have a competitive advantage and give awesome customer support with a legitimate delivery service and the right attitude online. That's where you actually beat the players who are currently dominating. Because if you can do all of that consistently at a high level, you definitely gain market share for sure. Another thing that a lot of sellers don't understand is that it takes time, right? It takes time to do this. It takes constant effort. It's day in, day out. E-commerce never sleeps. I don't think Carol sleeps as well, but it's just something that you gotta prepare yourself when you're going in for this game, and that's about it, right? So I think for the rest of the questions that we have, we'll take them offline and we'll answer via email if you're registered. And I do believe this webinar is being recorded and will be published online as well. So it is going to be something that you can check back, re-listen to the whole thing, and, you know, get any key points that you've missed throughout this particular journey. So before we end the show, I just want to recap about the 7 export secrets that we wanted to discuss. The first one is the de minimis. Second one is about regulations and declaration. Third one is multi-channel sales is the way to go. The fourth one is build account and product reviews at all times. The fifth one is master traffic generation. Sixth one is understand, learn, and truly dive into the export ecosystems within the country. And lastly, learn from the export case studies about how they've succeeded from a small entity to become a large export-based entity doing 5-6 figures every month. So this is it for our webinar today. Really, on behalf of Payoneer, I want to thank all of you who spent about an hour plus with us here today to listen. I hope you've got a whole slew of new information. You've listened to some of the experts in the scene, such as Alvin and Carol, who you can reach out to anytime on DingTalk. Please get in touch with them, join the community, and of course, last but not least, to facilitate your export-based business, please use Payoneer, right? It's an awesome platform. You get to bring in foreign exchange with a very low cost and a very robust system behind it. You're not going to lose your money suddenly for regulatory purposes, right? Okay, so that's it for me. I'm Joachim Sebastian, Payoneer Brand Ambassador for Malaysia. You can look me up on facebook.com/Joachim Sebastian. Facebook.com/Joachim Seb, and you can ask me questions there, and we hope to see you soon again sometime. Okay, thank you guys and have a good day ahead. Cheers.
Cheers.